It is Saturday night, and don't forget to set your clocks ahead. It is daylight savings time for some of you,
Well, that's
not quite for me. Yeah, well, it doesn't affect you. Well, it affects you, but you don't have to change your
that's
clock.
smart for anybody. It means
Uh,
everything's in a year different now.
so set your clock forward 1 hour. What is it at 2 o'clock? You're supposed to do that.
That's correct.
Time changes.
Yeah,
Now it'll be 2 hours from now.
hopefully someday they'll stop it. We don't need it anymore.
I did see a lot of posts complaining about it, so I guess it makes sense that it's this weekend.
Yeah, Washington was supposed to stick with, I think, the hour ahead time, but they were waiting for the government to do something that the government never did. So it never happened. But this is the overnight mouse party. I'm DM Foss, and so we've got G Webs. How's it going, G Webs?
Fair to Midland, thanks for hosting.
And Gizzard Gary, how you doing?
Well, not too bad for 1 o'clock in the morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. And there's a link for this week's poll pinned to the top of the chat. So if you haven't voted in the poll, head over there and vote. And yes, I know I didn't put 8-tracks in it. You only get 4 choices, and there's a lot of choices to choose from. So I tried to pick the ones that most people may have had. And apparently 8-tracks is one that the people who watch the chat are old enough where they had 8-tracks, because there were a few comments about that. We'll take a look at that here in just a little bit.
Listen to the whippersnapper.
So we got Boom Schmuck. How's it going? Barbecue. Well, I guess it wasn't going good. Hopefully he'll be back. I lost my place. I'm a little sleepy. I woke up. I don't know. My alarm went off about an hour ago, and I didn't really want to get up. But I'm here. Oh, I was going to ask you, Gary, what's going on with I saw something about Kansas that they're trying to pass a bill that has a gun law bill, the do not sell to list or something like that.
I haven't heard.
Oh, well.
Kansas. Do not.
I can't remember, because somebody did a video on it, and I don't remember if it was the Conservative Ladies of Washington or if it was the FPC or something like that.
Is that it? In Kansas, House Bill 2379, the Kansas Voluntary Do Not Sell Firearms List Act establishes a system for individuals to voluntarily register to be placed on a list that prevents them from purchasing firearms. What?
Yeah, I didn't quite. I didn't watch the video, and from the title and a little bit of description you see when you're flipping through your feed, I didn't quite understand what it was saying.
That's George making all the ruckus, right?
Mm-hmm. He wanted to be on the show tonight.
As long as he says stuff, he gets paid.
Yep.
as long as he has lines. And they're in the script, page 3. George says,
and the Saint brings up the permit to purchase in Washington, pass through Washington's house. Yeah, I saw a video of, I forgot his name, a state senator was talking about that. And he's the ranking member of the Civil Rights. So they probably will push it through, but it's so you have to have a background check, so that you can have a background
I
check.
don't know if you can hear me, Foss, but if you can, it's doing that thing where it won't let me hear you guys again.
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It won't let you hear us?
can you hear me? You don't hear us? I'm going to change my pin timers. No?
I don't think you can hear us. I can hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. Let me send him a quick text saying, I can hear you. Can hear you. So unfortunately, we'll have to deal with that here coming up, I believe. And the state senator said he listed the state constitution reasons why it's unconstitutional state-wise, and he believes it wouldn't pass scrutiny in the courts, but who knows? Let me say hello to people that are out there. DJ is out there first. Gizzard Gary. Ozzy Orsborn. Mr. Bob Dabalina. Justin Grimm. And I don't know, Justin, I saw that you said hello in the Discord. So I don't know if you joined and then quit because you looked around and didn't like it, or what happened there. Because when I click on you, you don't show up as being in the Discord. I'm not sure. Let's see who. Gun websites. Gunpowder Beauty. Nice to see you. The Saint. The Goddamn Bacon. Barbecue is here somewhere.
Now, during the family hour, we have to call him the gosh darn bacon.
Oh. The Vulcan Rumble. Justin said his wife would like to sign him up for the do not sell list. Oh, there was... I thought I saw... Oh, S-Man. Hi, all. With my tax return, I decided to get into reloading. Going to start with 38 Special. Congratulations.
It's an interesting caliber. Should be pretty easy to work with, I would think. It's large enough. I think the too small a caliber gets tedious to learn on.
I haven't reloaded 38 Special. I've primed 38 Special. That's what... yeah. I don't know.
But when you reload 38 Special, remember to hold on loosely.
Yeah, but don't let go. I've have a couple cases that I primed by accident because I was doing 357, and there were a couple 38 specials that slipped in. But I haven't reset my dies to do the 38 specials yet. But yeah, welcome to the world of reloading. I haven't reloaded a lot. I've done some in some batches. I've done 9mm, 450 Bushmaster, 357 Magnum, and 40 cal. Is that all I've done so far? I think that's all I've done so far. I've got dies for also 30-06. I think I bought the 45 ACP die. And I have to check it because I want to do 350 Legend also. But haven't done that one yet. So down here. But there's Justin Grimm again in the Discord. There's a link to the Discord in the description.
Discord is like a social platform that you can create a room in, and he's got a room for this show, and you can hang out there and chat with each other and that kind of thing.
And so I see Justin in there, and then I assigned you. So if you ever want to come on the chat, you can see the link now. It's the live chat link. So you can jump on if you want to jump on. And it's a static link, so it's always the same one. It's not like StreamYard, which changes every time you do a stream.
So once you figured out how to navigate Discord, then you get to navigate EVMux.
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar from StreamYard. It's a little bit different. There's a slight learning curve, but
and I make a few extra bucks each week selling that link.
It's about like saying riding a Harley is just like driving a Chevrolet. Well, it kind of is.
And Vulcan Rumble asked about the P320 barrel. I have not ordered one yet. I just ordered sights, so when I get those, I'll get them on that slide, and then I'll post a picture on the channel.
Do you feel better knowing that SIG put out an announcement that your Treat 320 is such a good gun?
Well, I don't. Now that I have one and looking at the internals, I'm not sure how. There has to be a mechanical failure for it to go off without pulling the trigger. And if you like some of the ones, the discharges, I'm curious on if they've modified their guns at all. Because one of the examples that gets brought up is, I forget his name. I think I'm subbed to his channel. But he's a competition shooter. Did he change his trigger? Did he polish things? Did he lighten things? If you add the type of trigger where you can remove the take up, that actually affects the striker safety. So there's a little little finger that has to be actuated in order for the striker to work. And by taking up that slop, it moves your trigger like you're pulling it. So it moves that finger up a little bit. So if you remove all the slop, it's halfway up already. So you've removed half of that safety. But I don't know. But just from the stuff I can see, which I'm not a gunsmith or anything like that. I don't know how they would go off. Yeah. So it's a striker fired, so I'll never carry it. In anyways, but which is unfortunate because the compact, because I've got the X carry frame and the X compact frame. That X compact frame, I really, really like it. It has a great feel. I put the weights in the grip frame, the tungsten weights you can get in the grip frame to balance it. And to me, it has a great feel. If it was only
What are you going to get striker fire?
You shoot your balls off. I know there's lots of people who carry them. I just feel better having a hammer, single action, double action. That's what I like. It's what I'm comfortable with. So that's what I carry. So why don't we take a look at the poll? Let me get the poll going here. So I find what I'm doing. And the poll. We'll share that. And then go there. So this week's poll was, what's the oldest type of music media you've owned? And the choices were vinyl record, cassette tape, CD, or I use my phone, you boomer. 75% said vinyl record, 16% cassette tape, 7% CD, 1% are streaming. And like I said, I only get 4 choices for the polls, so something's always going to get left out. And looking at, let me make sure that I've got all the comments up here. Newest first. Karen Woodson said 8-track tapes. Remember those, anyone? And Portuguese Lingua said, yep, I'm only 42. And I'm only 42. Chris Lang, I'm sure I've got some vinyls at my mom's house. Even some 45s of hers. I bet we have some 8-tracks in a box somewhere. M. Gabriel said wax cylinders. X Bowman, got rid of all my CDs when I moved. The goddamn bacon said, wait, do those wind-up lullaby music boxes count? Fiend Dog said 8-track. McWillie, I got a couple 8-tracks and some reel-to-reel from Dad. The Saint, like others said, you forgot 8-track tapes. It's like a big cassette tape. Caucasian Sasquatch, 8-track was in an old car I bought. The darn radio worked. Was a GTO. The girlfriend had put sugar in the gas and oil, probably transmission and brakes too. So only functioning parts were the chassis, body, and the radio. Electrical was devoured by mice. I almost had a Le Mans back in high school. I was going to buy it from a friend's brother, and the Le Mans is pretty much the GTO body style. But he ended up, before I could buy it, he sold it to somebody else, so I never got it. Tim Allen, well, when I was buying and using vinyl records, they were not old tech then. A lot of them were new or newish releases. Vanessa Kitty, 45s, LPs, LPS, and 8 tracks. Gizzard Gary said, there are several albums that I own in 8 track, LP, vinyl, cassette, and CD formats. Let me refresh that page real quick, make sure I didn't miss anybody's. Go to the news first. There we go. Yep. I think I got everybody.
Would you need the book of matches for to like jam the 8-track in there or something?
The tracking would be off a little bit on a tape because on 8 tracks, the tapes ran the tracks ran next to each other, and occasionally the head would get out of alignment. So you would take that book of matches and jam under the 8 track to kind of prop it up to where it would play correctly. Wasn't uncommon at all.
I don't remember ever having to do that, but I don't know if I'm younger than you, so I just may not have paid attention.
That's true.
I did have a 78 LeBaron that had an 8-track player in it. Never played any 8 tracks in it.
I only ever had 8-track like radio, like that you plug into the wall, like portable radios. I never had one in the car. Or I guess we never did because I was a little kid when 8 tracks were around. But they were before cassettes, right? So they were just the thing that people used because it was like radio and then 8 tracks and then cassettes.
Well, actually, I believe in the 50s, maybe even the 40s, but for sure in the 50s, there were some cars that had in-dash record players that would play.
Cadillac had it.
I've seen that. Well, only on TV.
And I believe that predated 8-track. So
sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cadillac had that option. Was a unit that kind of sat below the dash.
Wasn't real practical for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, my best friend, George, his brother had a reel-to-reel. I remember listening to the Beatles on his reel-to-reel. I didn't own one, so can't count that as mine.
My dad had one. It's, once you know how to run it or whatever, it's just like anything else, just takes longer. I guess it sounds better. I don't know. It's just more meat to the tape, but
yeah. Does anybody remember the old CD players that would mount in the trunk that had the
disc
changers? Yeah.
I never had a disc changer. Almost bought a car. When we bought our Nissan Altima, we had looked at one that had a disc changer in it, but decided to get a different one. Or no, that's the one we did buy it. We did buy it. That's the one we owned for like 30 minutes because we bought it and there was a McDonald's next door. We went to the McDonald's to eat and some old guy backed into it with his truck and totaled it.
Oh, man.
That's what happened to that one. That was the only red car that we've ever owned. I've never owned a red car.
After if you get a red one, it'll stand out and people won't mess with it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
For bulls, if you ran into a bull in the middle of the road, you'd be in trouble.
Good point.
So I had, luckily, we got lucky because we rode my motorcycle to the dealership, and it was parked next to the car, but luckily he missed my bike and only hit the car. So we're able to get home. So I was able to get it started, drove it back across the parking lot back to the dealership and said, hey, can I leave this here until the insurance company comes and looks at it?
Did they laugh at you?
Yeah, were they like, okay, you won the fastest time for someone to total a car that they just bought?
No, when I went back, I'm like, hey, we just got hit, and they're like, hey, that's your car. There's nothing we can do about it. It's like, no. I just need to leave it here so the insurance company can come look at it. They're like, oh, okay.
I actually went to a General Motors dealership once. I was looking at a used car, and that one of the salesmen was telling me, he said, yeah, we just had yesterday some guy bought a brand new vehicle, drove it off the lot, and when they pulled onto the road out in front of the dealership, somebody creamed them, totaled it out before they even got out of the parking lot.
Yeah, it's not a fun feeling because when we got our food, sat down, and almost immediately somebody walked over. This is kind of annoying. I don't know what's and came over and asked, "Hey, do you have a red Nissan?" And since we had just bought it, it didn't click that yeah, we have one, And it took me a second. Said, "Oh yeah," and she's like, "Well, somebody just hit it." Oh god damn it! But he hit it hard enough that it shoved it into another car, and it didn't total that other car, but banged it up pretty good. Mr. Bob said first car with a record player was a 1955 Chrysler. He said according to Google.
It's before my time.
Oh, I was sorry. The Vulcan Rumble comment. I haven't got a barrel yet. Maybe week after next, order one. Ooh. S-Man said he posted a lever action on my Discord. Let me bring up my Discord. We'll take a look at it. Always happy to look. Oh, S-Man is midget with carrot cake. So, no, I don't want to do that. Let me window and share. Yes. So that's his new lever action. Nice. What caliber is it?
Oh, that doesn't. Will that turn it? Will that rotate it, or does that just go back or something? No, it's forward.
No. I can send it to you, or
No,
make it bigger. I still need one. I don't have a lever action. And I don't know if I ever will have a lever action because I keep buying handguns. And I can't do both. Oh, I like it.
Well, he told us earlier it's 357 Winchester.
Oh, 357?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Winchester. That should be really nice then. Oop, I can stop sharing. Get rid of that. Goddamn Bacon said my old buddy has you beat. He had his first Gen RX-7 for 20 minutes trying to drift around the literal last turn home. Don't ask what happened to the second one. It'll break your heart. Yeah. Oh. So I was going to ask a gun question. Well, we'll say 2A related question for the panel. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think we are gun rights? 10 being absolute freedom. Nobody questions you about anything you buy. And 1 being let's say 1. We won't have a 0. 1 being you have to get permission for every step of the way. G-Webs.
Well, I'm assuming you can't say in what state. You got to say the whole country.
Nope. In general, across the country.
And we don't care about other countries, of course. So 6, maybe 7.
6, maybe 7.
We're doing all right, but we have 50% of the population that can't own a lot of shit, even though it's only 9 states.
Gary, how about you? Where would you put it?
I was gonna say 5 or 6. Yeah, in that ballpark. We've got several freedoms. There's several freedoms we don't have. Every time you travel, you got to worry about whether you can do this or that. It's like the ability to just defend yourself and not worry. It's still not there.
When I was thinking about that, I put it at 6. For those in the 9 states or so that are dealing with a lot of garbage right now, it may seem worse, but if you take a view of the overall country, I would put it at 6. If they got rid of the NFA or the Gun Control Act and move it up to 7, maybe the constitutional carry bill might bump it up a little bit. But I think it's trending well. It's just for some people it might be hard to see because they're dealing with a lot. But
they might have even grown up in it. Like, you could live your whole life under bullshit while the people across the boundary are doing whatever they want. I was saying exactly to Vulcan and Ozzy, and then Gunpowder said 3. So I wonder why she thinks so much, so low, I suppose. Like 1 would be fascism or something. Like you can't even own a gun, right? Like you have to jump through every hurdle and have all kinds of permits and stuff. And 10 would be you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Have to fill out a permission slip to get one, basically.
All right. She's saying because of the California, Washington, Illinois, New York, Massachusetts, and the rest.
As long as we have to continue to fill out a federal form to obtain a firearm, I don't think we have freedom. That's just me. So.
Yeah. I would kind of agree with you there. And it's because of the California, Washington, Illinois, New York, and such is why I put it at 6. If it wasn't, if they were more like other states, I would put it at 7. The goddamn bacon said, in that case, I vote 10. Everyone should be able to own tactical nukes. Change my mind. That's an argument I have heard in the past. Well, you don't want your neighbor to own nukes. And there's not a lot of you. It's hard to convince somebody when they have that attitude, when they bring out that opinion. Pretty much, those are the people that don't want to listen. But
Would it be a counter to say then why do you just want to ban guns? Why not ban knives and sharp objects and crossbows and machetes and hammers and regulate all those things that are violent or that can be violent as soon as guns are gone? Push it the other way.
That's a good point. My only retort was basically, hey, if somebody has the ability to get a nuke, you're not going to stop them anyways.
That's the point. I usually would say, I don't know if this is going to help anything. I think it's just a technical thing, but the government doesn't make nukes. Somebody makes them and then sells them to the government. So, yeah, private people do own nukes and then they sell them to our government. I mean, they might have to get a license or something to do it, but you know what I mean? It's not like our government makes nukes in a closet somewhere or in a factory, like a government factory like in Russia.
Justin Grimm said quit doing executive orders and start with writing legislation while you have the numbers. That would be nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to happen. And Gary said that involves asking legislators to do their job. Mr. Bob, my son lives in Illinois. I have given him some guns he's not allowed to own because of state laws, so I had to take them back to Missouri. And the goddamn bacon said, question nobody asked, what is upkeep for nukes? But G-Wibs ain't wrong.
I don't know if the nuke part takes much, the actual bomb part, because once they put it together, I think it just sits there. But I might be wrong. Like those chemicals might react. You might have to take it apart and wash it off or something every once in a while. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I know that from going to the Titan sites, Titan 2 and Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles are in Tucson. Kansas has them too somewhere. But the thing that was the expensive part there was the was the intercontinental ballistic part of it, like the tube that goes up into space like a bullet. That's what took the millions of dollars and shit. From what it sounds like, the nuke part was just sitting on top. Like maybe they just don't talk about it, but in the tour and stuff, they don't really talk about ever having to deal with the only thing they ever do with the warhead is like take it off once in a while. If they're going to do maintenance to the rocket, they'll take the warhead off and move it over here and then fuck with the rocket. But other than that,
that's interesting. Something I had never thought about.
taking a side note to show Gizzard that TAC Ray that they sent me. It's kind of a blocky design, but it's an Axis, so it opens easy, and it's super lightweight.
Is that carbon fiber or just G10?
Oh, it is carbon fiber. I said G10 in the video, but yeah, it's super lightweight. It's carbon fiber, and it's thick, so it's not bendy or whatever. I think it's like a $57 knife, if I remember right. This I don't like. It's okay, but you can open it like this easy enough.
Yeah.
And it's a strong enough crossbolt that you can open it from either side. You don't have to have both sides, so that's kind of nice.
What's your blade steel on it?
D2.
Okay.
And it's got a, I don't know what to call this. It's a little bit of a belly. It's not flat, but it's basically flat. I think there's a little curve there, right? And I don't know what to call this. Warncliffe or something. So I kind of like it. It's growing on me. At first I was like, and then I started playing with it, and it's growing on me.
Yeah, that's a convex grind. That's rare. Wow.
Okay, sorry, distract there. I was fiddling with it.
Telos said, "Well, warheads don't really need you to do much with it."
But the thing is, you can't really do much with just a warhead unless you want to die, right? Like you kind of need to throw it really far away, or run away from it. So,
Well,
but I
that's
think
like the
other rules against just having super as dangerous things, like there's going to be not rules against having the dangerous thing, but rules about safe storing it correctly and that kind of stuff. Like you can't just own a lot of dangerous shit in most places where there's laws and stuff. Like if you live in the middle of nowhere, I guess you can do what you want. Most towns are going to have a law like you can't have 10,000 gallons of acid in your house or something.
yeah. Back to the reloading in Washington, you can't have more than I can't remember if it's 5 or 10 pounds of powder.
Ever or without being in a box? Or without
Ever at one time. I
Sometimes
think
it's
it's
like without telling
10.
the fire department or without putting it in the right kind of box.
Yeah, I think it was 10 pounds is the limit. Oh, yeah. Barbecue had told me he cannot hear us.
I can hear us.
So that's unfortunate.
Is it using Google Chrome? You have to use Google Chrome. Like you won't even open for me in other browsers, but maybe if you open it in a browser that lets them open it, it's messing with them.
Mr. Bob said 5 pounds of black powder is the limit. And Telos said I work with way more dangerous stuff on airplanes. And the goddamn bacon said you can't have 10,000 gallons of acid laying around.
But you can carry 5 gallons of gasoline down a sidewalk and nobody'd say a word to you. You could do a lot of damage with 5 gallons of gasoline.
Oh. Well, do you guys want to do a bracket? Should we do a bracket? What do you guys think?
You let the audience vote. Sometimes they like brackets, sometimes they don't like brackets.
So yeah, we can do that. We only have 3 on the panel, so that usually like to have more people on there. But should we do a
Maybe a
bracket?
bracket will encourage other people to join in tonight and be part of it.
Should we do a music bracket?
The music brackets means we need to sing every answer.
Yeah, like a High School Musical.
You graded on the pitch, the tone.
Tell us that I can buy MPK or MEK, which are fallible and far more dangerous toxicity wise. Also, if primer or paint mix with it cause a fire.
Huh. What is MEK? Is that the stuff you remove paint with?
I think so. Mr. Bob said correction at limits. AT limits 50 pounds of black powder for personal use without needing a federal explosive license, but they must comply with proper storage regulations. Ozzy said yes. Tell us that it's a solvent. It's a solvent.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I guess
There's airports all over the place when you think about
Of course, Ozzy could just be throwing the name of a band out there too.
Well, that's true.
It's kind of a roundabout answer, but if you know, you know.
Yes, I know.
It took me a minute. I'm like, what? Well, I got one,
One
yes.
down.
I'm gonna save it until somebody get in here.
So Ozzy makes one down, one to go. Another town, one more show. Tell us then methyl and propyl ketone, MPK.
Welcome, all my friends, to the show that never ends.
What's your favorite thing to get when you go to a Chinese restaurant?
Sweet and sour chicken.
Crab rangoons, definitely.
What?
Crab rangoon.
I don't know what that is. Is that a dish or is that little fried things?
Little fried things with cream cheese and
Oh, okay.
stuff inside them.
I know what those are. They just call them
With
like
crab.
crab puffs or something here.
So I guess we will do. Let me do this.
Let's get it on!
So
Hostel.
we will do. Oops.
It's the poo poo platter. I know I've heard of that before.
While you're
I've only
introducing-
heard it.
While you're
I've heard it
introducing the bracket, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I've heard it used in jokes. I don't know what it actually is. So this week's bracket.
It's a tray of American, Chinese, or Hawaiian food that includes a variety of small meat and seafood appetizers such as egg rolls, chicken wings, and fried shrimp. It's associated with a Polynesian-themed dining experience.
Well,
So-
I guess we'll
Go ahead.
wait for Gary to get back from the bathroom, and so I don't have to explain this twice. Somebody's getting older, and your prostate gets bigger, and so you have to go to the bathroom more. So he has to shuffle his way over to the other room. The Saint said he likes the nice fat deep fried egg roll.
Yeah, I like eating egg rolls too. They're pretty good. Spring rolls, whatever. Either way, either kind of roll.
Gunpowder asked, when you say music, are we talking Cranberries or Disturbed? We're talking male vocalists. Sergeant Joe Smith is out there. Said a bracket.
This will be easier for us to sing than female vocalists, I guess.
Vulcan Rumble said pork fried rice is going to win. I like fried rice.
I'm sitting here eating fried rice. That's why I asked the question.
Is the
Oh.
bracket over?
No, we're waiting for you so I could
Okay.
explain it.
Okay.
So these are male singers and the best singing voice. And
So the song selection has nothing to do with it. Celebrity has nothing to do with it.
and it can be, regardless of the band, it's just the singer, their voice. Because it can be a band you don't like, but the singer has a good voice. Gunpowder said male vocalist is an understatement. Some of the most iconic voices through history. Well, you could join us if you wish.
Just a mild bit of nitpicking here.
Yes.
Freddie Mercury is IE.
Oh, yes, it is.
And
Paul
Rogers has a D in it. RODGER.
Oh, really? Okay.
MERCURIE. Got it.
Rogers and
MEC.
Fred IE. Fred
Yeah.
IE.
There you go. I don't
Mercury.
think I saw anything else in there. Just those two.
And I will say, for future reference, there will tend not to be a lot of country singers or bands or music, just because I don't know country music. I'm not a country music fan, so I don't know the um, singers or bands or songs. I do, there are country songs I like. I don't I kind of like bluegrass, but uh, God, now I can't even think of anybody.
Any of the bluegrass people?
Willie, I like Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash, but they're not my favoritists, and I don't tend to listen to them. So,
Well, people can always write you a bracket if they have a problem with your bracket, right? Like they can always give you ideas for the next bracket.
I am always open for bracket ideas. The only person that sends me bracket ideas is Sergeant Joe Smith.
Now, is this a suggested bracket or original concept?
No, well, this is just one because since the poll was about music, and it got me thinking. And we had talked about it on last time I was on Gary's chat. We had talked about singers.
Yeah, how come no Elvis? Because you knew you would win.
I think you could do a whole bracket of horrible singers. I threw some out there. So.
Well, these are more. These are more voices that I would tend to consider more pure voices. Where there are other singers which I really like, but they have a more gravelly sound, or Elvis has a lot of tremolo. So this is just kind of
I watched
what I came
the
up with.
1973 Elvis documentary by Carpenter. You ever seen it? John Carpenter,
No.
who made The Thing and other movies. I was watching something, and it goes. I think I was watching Big Trouble in Little China on Amazon, and you know how Amazon will tell you behind the scenes things. I think
Yeah.
that came up. I was clicking on shit, and that came up, and it said John Carpenter and who's the guy from Big Trouble in Little China, like that actor, Kurt Russell, are good friends. All the way back from when they worked on this Elvis movie in 1973. And I'm like, what? There's an Elvis movie with these two dudes from 1973? So I went back and watched it, and it's a very, very, very nice version of Elvis where he's basically he does nothing wrong. And then he just accidentally dies in the 70s.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's the commentary for. It's either Big Trouble in Little China. I think it is.
It was Big Trouble in Little China. That's what I was watching.
Well, the commentary, it's Kurt Russell and Carpenter, and they're drinking. You can, at least
really?
Kurt Russell's drinking. You can hear his beer bottle.
Is this like DVD extra kind of thing?
Yeah. Where they go through the whole movie talking about stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool
in the movie.
Does people even remember that? Because that's one of the things that you don't get that much anymore. If you don't buy a DVD, is the director sitting there, or like I've seen Red Dawns where the actors are sitting there talking about, they were just kids, and there was like a lot of them their first acting job, and I forget the girl. I think the one girl who died already. I think she was the one who had other acting jobs, and she was teaching them everything. Anyway, so those kind of things are neat when you get to see the people who are involved, recollect all the shit from filming. Smith's pizza chain bracket. That would be great. Although a lot of you have warped ideas of pizza, that would be a good one.
We have done pizza before.
Oh, we have?
Yeah.
Toppings though?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. Minnie Rippert, the loving you. That song is about Maya Rudolph, her daughter.
Oh, yes, I know.
Wait, what? Who? What are we talking about?
Because at the very end, she sings, Maya, 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 Maya.
But so for this week's bracket, the male singers, singing voices, I'm not sure how to put it, but Steve Perry, Michael Jackson, and I'm leaning towards Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, pre-Shambong, Freddie Mercury, Paul Rogers, that's Bad Company.
I have no idea who that is. What songs is that?
Bad Company. They sing Bad Company. Bad Company till the day I die.
Okay.
Shooting Star.
Pat Boone.
No
And if you've never listened to Pat Boone's metal album,
In a metal mood. Yes.
it's worth a listen. And if you like his version, his cover of War Pigs, you can actually understand all the lyrics on the Pat Boone version, which I always struggled with understanding what everything Ozzy, not Ozzy Osbourne, but Ozzy Osbourne sings. Pavarotti, threw him in just for something a little different. A powerful tenor. John Denver, Dean Martin, and I tried to get kind of a spread of years, so it's not all like 70s rock. Stevie Wonder, which I have really liked Stevie Wonder. Tom Jones, another really powerful singer. Bruno Mars, which I didn't know anything about Bruno Mars. Figured he was just kind of a generic pop star until I saw him do the halftime show. Really good halftime show. Nat King Cole.
Oh, one of my mom's favorites.
Elton John. Wilson Pickett. Brian Wilson. And even if you're not... What's that?
I don't know who Wilson Pickett is.
Land of a Thousand Dancers.
Is that a song?
Yeah. Mustang Sally.
Okay, I've heard that one.
Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, and even if you don't like the Beach Boys, he's a good singer. And Dennis DeYoung from Styx. And Styx is a band where a lot of people hate Styx, and I don't quite understand why they hate Styx.
Because they're basically Rush and Yes and all those bands that sound the same.
Well, vocal-wise, they're better than Rush.
Oh my goodness! There's like a rumbling, like snow fell off of like
That's what
mountains.
I'm gonna say.
Everybody in Canada just woke up and started getting angry for some reason.
I mean, I do like Rush. They're not my favorite band. But their lyrics are trash. And what's his face? The singer, lead
Please
singer.
compared to Styx?
Well, I would say they're better lyrics. I would say, yes, Styx has better lyrics. Even
I thought
Mr.
that they were
Roboto,
angels, but much
even
to my
with-
surprise, they climbed aboard
Yes.
their starship and headed for the skies. Yeah,
yes,
beautiful lyrics there.
I will say it. I will say, even like Mr. Roboto. Yes, the Mr. Roboto. I can see people not liking that part of the song, but the rest of the song is okay. They're not. He's not bearing his soul in these songs, but neither was Rush.
Well, he was in one or two of them. In Babe, for example, which was basically a song he wrote for his wife.
I don't know
But,
any Styx songs except for that one you said, Mr. Roboto is the only one I know, I think.
So, but that's personal opinion.
Dennis
Are you
DeYoung
gonna
is
shuffle
also
these,
the
or is
reason
this
Styx
order?
broke up. But
Yeah, he basically he said he had a brain tumor, And I guess he had been sick for a little while, and the band got tired of him being sick, so they went on tour without him. I don't know how much of which is true, but
When did these
that's
bands happen? 70s? 80s?
Styx was kind of 70s into 80s.
70s, 80s.
I missed all these bands, I guess. I mean, I heard them on the radio, I guess, but I never listened to them.
Rush was mostly 80s.
But so that's who I came up with. So let me.
Are you going to shuffle them, or is that the order?
Yeah, we're gonna shuffle.
But you compare lyrics like that to the words of the prophets are written on the symphony wall. I mean, that's
Blah,
just
blah, blah,
deep,
blah.
man.
What about like Led Zeppelin? Was that the same era?
Led Zeppelin led the way, man.
I just watched the documentary on Led Zeppelin. It was pretty cool.
For as little time as they were actually active, I mean, wow, some of the stuff they did.
They had a big impact.
Yes.
And Ann Wilson's cover of "Stairway to Heaven" with I forget whatever honor that Led Zeppelin was getting, is a really good cover.
Yes.
But so our first matchup is Nat King Cole versus Steve Perry. Different eras.
Well, Nat King Cole was unforgettable. I mean, literally.
G-Webs. Who has the better voice, Steve Perry or Nat King Cole?
Well, I know that the one dude has a very good soul or something. But I hate Steve Perry, so even though I don't really know any Nat King Cole songs, I'm going to go with Nat King Cole.
One for Nat King Cole.
Why do you
I
hate
would
Steve
literally
Perry?
turn off the TV when Steve Perry would come on. He just whines. He sounds like somebody whining at me.
Are you thinking of Steven Tyler?
No, isn't Steve Perry
Journey.
somebody, Sherry or something?
Oh, Sherry, yeah.
Yes.
I hate that song. That's like nails going down a chalkboard to me. Like I say, I would literally turn off MTV when that stuff came out. I'd be like, okay, it's time to take a break.
How about you, Gary? Nat King Cole or Steve Perry?
I gotta Don't Stop Believing in this case. Let's go with Steve Perry.
Wow.
I'm calling Michael
Steve
Jackson.
Perry.
That's the whole thing.
Yee-hee.
Ozzy said Nat King Cole. Sergeant Joe Smith, Nat King Cole.
Who's Johnny?
What's that?
Who's Johnny Rzeznik?
I have no idea. Oops. So, Oh, this is a kind of a tough one. Nat King Cole is buttery smooth. Steve Perry is. I really like Steve Perry.
If Cole wouldn't have died so early, yeah, he might have gone on to do many better things. Lung cancer got him.
I guess I'm gonna have to say Nat King Cole. That was kind of a tough one.
I'll admit it was a tough one. It could have went either way. I'm not mad about that one.
So now we've got John Denver versus Pavarotti. Very different styles. G-Webs.
I just found Stairway to Heaven by Heart from 12 years ago, it says. There was some kind of Kennedy Center honors. All right, John Denver and Pavarotti. I'm going to go with John Denver, I guess, because I'm not going to listen to opera.
One for John Denver. Gary.
I'm trying to imagine Pavarotti singing "Take Me Home, Country Roads." Oh gosh, I grew up with John Denver. I'm gonna have to go with John Denver.
If they were singing it head to head, Pavarotti would blow him off the stage, just because he has a bigger voice. Um,
But he can't play the guitar.
I don't know if he can or not. Sergeant Joe Smith said John Denver. Um, oh, I don't have any Pavarotti songs. I guess I'll go John Denver.
Wow, a clean sweep.
Yeah.
John
Oh,
Buchendorf.
so now we've got Paul Rogers against Wilson Pickett.
Ugh.
G-Webs.
I don't know if I know any of the songs. Name songs that I'm gonna know. Who was Paul Rogers?
Bad Company.
Oh yeah.
Are
And
you
who's Wilson
ready for love? Yeah, baby, I'm ready for love.
And then who's Wilson Pickett?
Land of the Midnight Hour. Land of a Thousand Dances. Mustang Sally.
Oh. Mine's just going to be a wild shot because I barely know either one of these. So I'll go with I don't know. I'm going to just randomly go with number 5 because it's a cooler number than 6.
One for Paul Rogers. Gary.
I don't like Paul Rogers' voice.
Really?
I really don't.
Huh.
I'm gonna go with Wilson Pickett here in an
Wilson
upset.
Pickett.
I unwittingly
Oz-
needed a challenge.
Ozzy said Rogers. Sergeant Joe Smith said Wilson.
He's a better singer than Aaron Rodgers, that's for sure.
Well, how do you know? Have you heard Aaron Rodgers sing?
Can't say as I have.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Wilson Pickett. I really like Wilson Pickett.
Pure singer, I think he's a better pure singer.
So now we've got Elton John versus Pat Boone. G-Webs.
Elton John.
Elton, one for the Rocket Man. Gary.
As much as I really love listening to Love Letters in the Sand, I'm going to have to go with Elton John on this one here.
Elton John.
Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John. Sergeant Joe Smith said Elton. Oh, Pat Boone had a long career and he covered pretty much every genre.
Well, that's basically how he made his name in the 50s and 60s is covering music that were made popular by black artists and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that some of the songs that went number one for him should have gone number one for the other artists, the black artists. I'm going to grab, I'll be right back. Give me just
A lot of parents wouldn't let their kids listen to music from the black artists, but they would let them listen to Pat Boone singing the same music. So
Sorry about that. Had to blow my nose. Gunpowder Beauty said Elton. Ozzy said Boone.
Well, listening to that Heart thing, and it's crazy how that takes like a whole band to come up with the same sound as, like the 3 people and, well, I guess 4 people in Led Zeppelin.
The goddamn bacon said Elton, but Jerry Cantrell ain't bad either.
Who's Jerry Cantrell?
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go Elton John.
I need to know songs. I don't know any of these people really by their names for the most part.
Well, that was another that always factors into this mix too. Are artists that people might know because there's probably lots of great singers that most people won't really know. So you have to, I try and work these so that they're competitive and things or people that everybody might know.
I mean, I
That's a-
definitely picked Jerry, but I don't think he was such a great singer as much as, the band and the songs and shit were awesome.
Who's that?
Jerry, like the Dead was all experience.
Garcia.
Oh, Dead? Ah,
Did you ever go to a Dead show?
no. I would have loved to, though.
You ever go to one, Foss?
No. I've never been a Dead fan.
I went to one the first time, like thinking we were going to go there as like ironically, because we were all into like really heavy metal shit. And then like I got about halfway through the experience outside and then went inside and listened to about like halfway through the show. And I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm a Deadhead. I was done. From that point on, I was into it. I was in
The goddamn bacon said Alice in Chains. I've seen them. I saw them in concert.
Oh, is that who he was saying?
That's
Jerry
Paul Stanley.
Cantrell? I know I'd heard that name before. Oh, okay. That person, I would have voted for Alice in Chains. I like that group.
Or not? No, not Paul Stanley. No,
That's not Jerry Cantrell?
no. It was.
Blaine Stanley or something?
We didn't stay the whole concert. It was not.
Concert?
Yeah, as concert goes, it was not. I mean, if you really like their music, it was fine. But basically, he came out, stood there holding the mic. No, everybody's playing, but nobody moved. And then he stopped, took off his jacket, sang the next song, and that was pretty much the concert. So
It was over that quick, you mean? Or it was just like
no. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
So if you like the music, then you're listening to the music live, which it wasn't bad. There just wasn't any show to it.
Well, some concerts it's like that. It's like a show, and then other ones it's like the Dead. They don't even. They haven't ever tried to play the same song the same way twice. That's sort of the whole thing. So there's that experience when you go to some shows is that they're gonna be creative with it. But some artists, they stand there and play a recording, right, and just lip sync to the recording. They don't want to vary. They want the same thing all the time.
Yeah. Where is Jimmy Buffett? No Cheeseburger in Paradise. I'm sorry. Rob Halford. I do like Rob Halford as a singer.
Is that Metallica?
Yeah.
Rob Halford is Judas Priest.
Oh shit! I thought it was a new one. I don't like Judas Priest. I don't think. What's one of their songs?
You got another thing coming?
Oh,
Living After Midnight.
They fall into like AC/DC pile for me. I don't.
Hell Bent for Leather.
Touch them to them.
So now we've got. Oops, let me move Elton John forward. Michael Jackson, and I'm thinking the younger Michael Jackson, maybe up through Thriller, versus Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. G-Webs.
I like all of Michael Jackson stuff, and I don't really. The Beach Boys are all right, but I don't ever go. You know what I need to listen to is the Beach Boys. At least not long.
Remember, it's not the songs; it's the voice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think I'd still rather listen to Michael Jackson because of the range and the different stuff he can do. Where Beach Boys, I can only think of like kind of a narrow band of stuff they do, or he does, I guess.
So 1 for Jackson. Gary?
Brian Wilson.
1 for Brian Wilson. And you had asked, where's Donny Osmond?
He's still performing, by the way.
Donny Osmond and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I have the DVD of the movie they made from the musical. Really good. He's really good in that.
Yeah. He still performs today.
Gunpowder Beauty said Jackson. Mr. Bob to Julie Andrews.
We got
able to
Mr.
sing
Music
4
out there,
octaves.
DJ.
I really do like Julie Andrews' voice. Ozzy said Jackson.
But yeah, we could do a female bracket one of these days. A lot of good ones on there.
There are. Mr. Bob said she was practically perfect in every way. That's a Julie Andrews and Mary Poppins reference.
So DJ should jump in here. We're only in the first bout, and then it would be ties go to the audience.
I think DJ, he can try, hopefully. He's always had that same problem that Barbecue had tonight where it's a one-way communication.
Tested it, and it worked fine.
Huh. I swear I'm not keeping DJ out. It's so I'm gonna go Michael Jackson. Jackson 5 Michael Jackson is really good. My wife doesn't like him in the Jackson 5 because he's too good of a singer for his age. So it creeps her out for some reason.
Well, he had to be because his dad would have whipped him if he didn't sing good.
Yeah, when the little kids sing like adult lyrics and stuff, it does seem a little creepy.
But that's kind of like Stevie Wonder. His first album was Little Stevie Wonder, 12-Year-Old Genius, I think was the title.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he always blind?
Well, there's some question on whether he's actually blind. All right. Can you hear us, Barbecue? Can we hear you, Barbecue? Oh, you're muted.
Guns and Barbecue.
Can you hear us? Can we hear you're muted? Try unmuting.
Oh, babe, give me one more chance.
Ooh. Oh. Well, Oh yeah, like I said, there's been some stories, and I saw a video of it's one of the 80s benefit concerts. I think it was We Are the World. But I guess he didn't make it. Gosh darn it. There's a clip of him, and he's kind of in the middle of the singers. Somebody knocks over a mic stand, and he grabs it before it hits the floor.
Who?
Stevie Wonder.
Oh.
And Shaquille O'Neal has told a story where they lived in the same building, and he got into the elevator, and Stevie Wonder was already in the elevator, and Stevie Wonder said hello to Shaq before he had said anything. So he knew it was Shaq somehow. So working now. You're still muted. Nope.
Well, I just got done watching Daredevil, so I just looked at the internet, and the internet says that he's been blind since birth because of something that was born with, and I'm guessing that somebody who's been blind since birth is gonna pick up on cues. And somebody might have said like, "Hey, Shaq's gonna be in the building today" or something, and he could tell when somebody big ass got in the elevator. I don't know.
I know there are other people who also have said that they're not. They question his blindness. So I don't know if it's that he's totally blind or maybe he has a little bit of sight. Could see light and shadow or something. I don't know. Goddamn Banker brings up Chris Cornell. I like Chris Cornell, but his voice isn't that clean to me.
Artist or song? I mean, group or song?
Group. He was the lead singer for Black Hole Sun. He sang Black Hole Sun.
Oh, okay.
Soundgarden.
Soundgarden. Thank you.
I like that's all grunge. Do you like any grunge though?
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't when it came out. I liked it afterwards.
I'm a 70s guy. I still like some of it. Yeah.
And
I like grunge. It was pretty good.
I think for Cornell, part of it is if you listen to his vocals isolated, he has a good voice, but he does a lot of which
that's weird.
You don't hear it.
Like that was sort of part of it was that they weren't trying real hard, right? Like so they weren't trying to be like Tom Jones or something.
And when all the music and all the backing and the other people are singing, you don't really hear those parts. When it's isolated, it kind of ruins it for me.
Well, I think that's true of a lot of people. I watched a video once where they isolated David Lee Roth's voice from some Van Halen stuff. And isolated, he sounds horrible.
Well, he's not. He's a good front man, not a great singer.
He's a good singer, though.
Yeah.
A lot of singers put their shit through machines, right? Like the same way you put your guitar through machines.
That's one problem nowadays is the pitch correction. Can you hear us, DJ?
That's a bunch of no.
I can hear you.
You're just super low.
DJ, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you feel me?
We heard you say stuff, DJ. You're just super low volume.
Yeah. Pump
You're
up.
not hearing us? Yeah.
Oh. Well, wonder if he just needs to change his audio device.
You didn't hear him say something? I heard him say something.
I heard him, but he can't hear us. But if he goes into his settings, the audio output may be the problem. Of course, he can't hear me saying this.
Well, while we're waiting on that, we'll go on to Tom Jones versus Dennis DeYoung.
Who'd you say Dennis DeYoung is?
Styx.
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's not unusual, that's for sure.
And he's the kind of dude that could go into a room and just sing, right? Like where I don't know that other person is always used to probably being on a microphone in a concert.
And he also had a crossover hit on the country charts, too.
Which one?
Say You'll Stay Until Tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know. I would have to listen to it. See if
listen to that sometime.
But I liked Pussycat, Pussycat. And Delilah, which we had talked about before, that I had not, until I actually really listened to the lyrics, didn't realize what the song was about.
Yeah. That's true of a
So-
lot of rock songs.
So which one are you going to go with? Tom Jones or Dennis DeYoung?
Me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to have to go with Dennis DeYoung.
Dennis DeYoung.
The man could sing.
Sergeant Joe Smith said Tom Jones. And Ozzy said Tom Jones.
Dennis DeYoung suffered from this Broadway fantasy, which kind of one of the catalysts that led to his split from Styx is they wanted to be more of a pure rock and roll band.
I'm going to go Dennis DeYoung, I think. It's kind of a tough matchup because they both have good voices.
I've actually seen Styx with Dennis DeYoung in concert, and they were incredible.
So now we've got Stevie Wonder versus Dean Martin. Gee webs.
Sorry, I got caught up in that Heart version of Stairway to Heaven there. Stevie Wonder and Dean Martin. Dean Martin's a fake blind, dude. He's faking being blind.
Gary.
Dean Martin had a velvety voice. It was just wonderful. Dean Martin.
Dean Martin is my favorite of the Rat Pack. Whoops. I was not a what's his face? Chairman of the board.
And as we all know, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
I can't think of that guy's name either now. It's not Roy Clark.
No.
Dean Martin. Oh, that's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Who's the main guy?
Oh, the Rat Pack. Let's see. You had Sinatra. You had
Sinatra.
Sammy Davis Jr. Who's the fourth one?
The comedian.
Wasn't Peter Lawhorn, was it? No.
I've never really been a Sinatra fan. I'm gonna actually go Stevie Wonder. I think I do really like Dean Martin. I have a best of CD for Dean Martin.
I'm old enough to remember when Dean Martin had a variety show on TV.
I've seen clips of it.
And the whole shtick of that was he was supposedly drunk the entire time. Fact is, it was pretty much iced tea in his glass. He'd pretty much given up drinking long before the show.
Yeah, I saw interview with somebody that was talking about that, and when they realized he wasn't drunk, and they said it to Martin, "Hey, you're not even drunk," and he goes, "Gotcha."
But he played it so well. That's how it worked.
And from what I heard, he kind of was a drunk for a while, but
At one time, yes.
yeah. Hang on, I gotta look. I'm trying to think of the fourth guy. The Rat Pack.
I thought it was Peter.
They said Peter Lawford.
Peter Lawford, yeah.
That's it. Lawford.
Joey Bishop.
I think Joey Bishop is the guy I was thinking of. Well, Google gives you 3 for a Rat Pack: Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and Sammy Davis.
Yeah, Sammy Davis could sing.
The Candyman can. Well, the ratpack.com lists both Peter Lawford and Joey Lawrence. I don't know. Maybe they're also Rands. So now we've got Freddie Mercury versus Bruno Mars. G-Webs.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. Gary.
No contest here, Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. Ozzy said some of my favorite movies, Martin and Lewis. I did when I was younger. I did like Jerry Lewis. As I got older and realized he's an asshole, I stopped liking him. The goddamn bacon said, "Oh wait, Freddie is actually on the board," and Sergeant Joe Smith said Freddie. I'm gonna say Freddie. Freddie is probably one of my favorite singers. Bruno Mars was just kind of to get a more recent singer in there, and he is a good singer, I think. But yeah, I don't know any of the newer singers because I don't
Could have had
listen to.
you could have had Bublé in here.
No, I can't stand Bublé. He would not be on the list. Michael Bublé. And he's pitch corrected now. You know, which is unfortunate because you don't know who is actually a good singer unless you listen to them live. Because everybody is pitch corrected, and now their studios are going back, and when they're re-releasing older stuff, they're pitch correcting the older artists too, just because everything is pitch corrected now. Guns Barbecue said Bruno Mercury. Sergeant Joe Smith said Bieber. I guess he's a Bieber believer.
For crying out loud.
Best thing I ever saw Bieber do was get hit in the head with a water bottle. So now, we'll give that the 3 and move Freddie Mercury ahead. Now we've got Nat King Cole versus John Denver. G-Webs.
I don't know enough Nat King Cole, so I guess John Denver.
Have a good night, DJ. Hopefully, we'll get this figured out so you can make it on the chat.
And we are already in daylight savings time, at least in my time zone anyway.
I still got an hour and a half. So, you said Nat King Cole? G-Webs?
Me? No, said John Denver.
Oh, you said John Denver. Sorry. So 1 for John Denver, and let me take that off the board. Gary.
John Denver was a very good folk singer. Not that pure voice as far as I'm concerned. Nat King Cole here.
Nat King Cole. Oh. That's kind of a little bit of tough one here is I like John Denver more than Nat King Cole. I'm leaning towards John Denver.
Oh, that's interesting.
Uh-oh.
I've heard that Nat King Cole was a merry old soul. Merry old soul was he.
He called for his pipe and he called for his bowl.
All right.
He's back.
Yeah. Not sure what happened there. because
Oh,
I
we
went to
lost
click
our
on
bracket. Oh no.
a comment and it booted me. So hang on here while I get the bracket back up.
Okay.
So yeah, where were we? I was voting John Denver.
Wow.
So John Denver is going to move on. So now Wilson Pickett versus Elton John. Excuse me.
Bless you.
G-Webs.
Elton John, I guess.
Elton John.
There's definitely people that could have my seat because I don't know all these people that well.
Guns Barbecue said right in Johnny Cash. I do like Johnny Cash, but he doesn't have the greatest voice. What I would consider more of a pure voice. And that's what's important, what I think. Gary.
I
Wilson
can't
Pickett.
believe you just said that.
Or Elton John.
Oh my God. Just for that, I'm voting for Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett. Yeah, Baron is a huge Johnny Cash fan. So if he was here, he would be upset. But that's all right because he brings up stuff which he knows drives me crazy on purpose, just to drive me crazy. I'm gonna go Wilson Pickett. Yeah. God, maybe not. I think Wilson Pickett is one where I like Wilson Pickett a lot, so I'm skewing that vote. I'm going to go Elton John. I'll go Elton John. Now we've got Michael Jackson versus Dennis DeYoung. G-Webs.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Gary.
Dennis DeYoung.
Dennis DeYoung. Oh. Goddamn Breaking brings up Ed Sheeran. I had kind of considered Ed Sheeran, but I can't stand his voice. So I left him off the list. And that's not saying he's not a good singer. It's just I don't like his voice. I'm going to go Michael Jackson. So now we've got Dean Martin versus Freddie Mercury. G-Webs.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. Gary.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. I'm going to say Freddie Mercury. Sergeant Joe Smith said Freddie. Oh, now we've got Battle of the Johns. John Denver versus Elton John. G-Webs.
I'll go with Elton Denver. John will be too confusing. I guess Elton John.
Elton John. Gary.
Elton John.
2 for Elton John. I'm going to go John Denver, but Elton John is going to move on. And you had asked, where's Mel Torme? There's no Velvet Fog here. Sorry.
Too bad.
Well, and Ozzy had said Dean Martin earlier. Sergeant Joe Smith said Elton. So now Michael Jackson versus Freddie Mercury. Battle of the Titans. G-Webs.
I think I'm still going to go with Michael Jackson in this one.
Michael Jackson. Gary.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. Ooh. This is tough. I really like both of them. Sergeant Joe Smith said Freddie.
But what would you rather hear on the radio? Billie Jean or Bohemian Rhapsody? Come on, man.
Ooh. I would lean towards Queen. Song-wise.
When that song comes on the radio, everybody sings along to it and bangs their head and everything else.
Well, I like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's not my favorite Queen song.
No, it's not. But that's one everybody knows. It's better than Killer Queen, but
I like Killer Queen.
All I'm saying is Michael Jackson can do a range where Freddie Mercury is pretty much ballads and screaming.
if you want to hear Freddie Mercury's range, Somebody to Love, that's just powerful, man. To hear him hit that high register there at the end.
Ooh, this is tough. This is really tough. Because I'm trying.
I was just thinking number, like the types of songs, but you're right. He has like, I don't mean he doesn't have like ability. I just mean there's more of Michael Jackson songs, maybe.
He might not have danced as good as Michael Jackson, but he liked to prance around the stage too.
I will say Freddie Mercury, I guess, and it's close. It is a very close one. Man, that was a tough one. I guess Freddie Mercury will eke out a win on that one for me. So now we've got Elton John versus Freddie Mercury.
Well, now we left the United States, so I have less and less interest. So
we're going by pure singing ability here, right?
Yeah.
I guess Elton John, but I don't really know.
So is that your vote, Elton John?
I guess. My vote would have been the guy from Alice in Chains, but he wasn't on the list.
Gary.
Freddie Mercury is a better pure singer than Elton John. Sorry.
Freddie Mercury. Ozzy said
Elton John's ass.
Yeah, I only had to pick one. I don't have a lot of skin in this game.
Ozzy said Freddie. Sergeant Joe Smith, Freddie. Barbecue said, "Oh my God, if you have Freddie and Elton in the finals, they could remake their famous song, 'Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.'" Good song. Good song. That is probably my favorite Elton John song.
Don't let your sun go down on me.
Don't let the sun go down on me. Yes.
Oh, well, maybe one of those words is different.
So I guess I will say Freddie Mercury. So Freddie Mercury has been voted the best singing voice, pure voice, something like that voice. It's kind of hard to parse out the voice from the song, from the band.
Every time I think of Freddie Mercury, I picture flying monkeys, like Wizard of Oz style flying monkeys from Flash Gordon.
Well, he is the savior of the universe. He'll
That's
save
true.
every one of us. For God's sake, strap yourselves down. Oh. Yeah, we can do a female singer voice.
That one's
I don't
more
know.
enjoyable. That would be better because I don't listen to men singing. I like listening to female singers better.
I might try if we do a female bracket. I don't know, because it was kind of tough to do pure voice.
Why don't you let people vote? Do like a bunch or nominate. You know what I mean?
God, I forgot the banner. Hang on, let me get the banner going. And so you can do that. Send in submissions for female singers to untacklefaucet@gmail.com or put it in the Discord. There is a section for brackets.
Female singers?
Female singers.
Brackets? There is a bracket section. Oh, there's nothing in there. Wow.
Because it's really hard to get people to give suggestions. Oh. So, damn it. I'm kind of wondering if EV Mux, all the kind of weird things going on with it, since they've been pushing it to be a streaming platform, streaming software for stuff like this, rather than the business side, have they gained users and it's creating glitches that we're starting to see because the increased users? I don't know. It's nothing catastrophic. It's just annoying.
I'm still figuring out all the ways to use it. As I'm using it more and more, I'm figuring out, like, I don't even know if you realize that you can have rooms full of studios. There's layers to this. And then
I know there's a lot it can do that I don't utilize or understand.
So I've gone in to do different shows for the Daily Gun Show and then different other shows. And whenever I do that, I can make a different studio. But like the studio for Daily Gun Show can have one for the Friday show and one for the Saturday show. So there can be two studios in a room. And then in there somewhere you get this layer where it says layers or something. And then that's where you pull over your videos and stuff. But then once you open up more studios, you start to see that there's another layer in there. So anyway, it's very large. It's nice once you get it. If you're doing a lot of projects, it's nice because you can lay those projects down and you have the single link and all that. But there's a learning curve to it.
I think to fully utilize the program to its maximum, I think you have to have a team. So people able to do stuff in the background while you're doing stuff in the foreground.
Yeah, like what do they call that room where you're always having a TV show or whatever, like that room where the people with all the TV screens are. What do they call that? I can't think.
A control room.
Yeah, that's basically, they expect you to have that person or a person doing that kind of shit in this thing. Anyway, so when you run it, do you have it flipped to studio?
No. I I don't do that just because it's one more thing I have to keep track of, and it's I like the ability to do what you can do with it. It's just it just makes it, it adds that one more step of complexity that I'd rather not deal with. Um, yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else I was going to bring up for.
Movies, TV shows.
Oh, and if for those who may not have heard, everybody should have been notified that Thunder on the Prairie has been canceled, and
Yes.
there's a chance it may be rescheduled for October, but there's nothing definite right now.
Canceled because of why?
We'll say scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Which was I was surprised that there were yeah. Unfortunately, too, I booked my flight the day before I got the cancellation notice, and when I got the text, pretty much like 2 minutes before I got the text, because there was you could get a refund within the first 24 hours. My card was charged like within 5 minutes before getting that text. So I had insurance, travel insurance, but I did not realize that I may not be able to get a refund through that, because the way it's looking is they're more covering catastrophic, so illness or something like that. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. If not, then I should still be able to get just a flight voucher for a future flight. So
Yeah. Let's just say I'm not pleased about this. But
well, it is what it is, and we can discuss it off air.
you're right.
With the rain shut down?
No, we'll talk about it off air.
Yeah.
So I guess, is there
News
anything you got coming up, G-Webs? Anything you want to let everybody know about? Are you
No.
no?
That's Rose.
All right. Oh, Gary, how about you? What you got coming up?
Oh, I got this dumb show on Monday nights they call Foul Territory. If you're really bored, you could stop in and watch it. It's 9 p.m. Central Time, Central Daylight Time now. Yes, we did move to the new daylight saving time to be in accordance with governmental regulations and all that stuff. So we'll be doing that Monday night. For my channel members, Wednesday nights our members chat. That is at 8:30 p.m. Central. Got some new knives in for review, so I should have some reviews out here pretty shortly. So thanks for having me.
I still haven't gotten used to you not having your chat on Friday. Yeah.
It's doing
'Cause
wonders for my sleep, though. The last 2 Saturdays, I've woke up like super early and actually got to my daughter's an hour ahead of schedule. So.
It's part of my routine when I would get home from work Saturday mornings is sit down, get home, sit down at the computer, start getting stuff scheduled for this chat, and then while listening to your chat. But you have disrupted my schedule, my routine, Gary.
I'm sorry.
Maybe should have thought about that. But I do appreciate you being here. It is always better with you than without you.
Aw.
And so next chat will be next Saturday. And don't forget to set your clocks ahead. Other than that, let me get over to the layer. There we go. I hope everybody has a good rest of the night and go do something good.